Hey, it's Charlie Ray, and now another episode of the musings of Mr. Clay and Charlie Ray.
Welcome back. Got a new episode here with Charlie Ray and Mr. Clay. And we're just going to talk about our week because we haven't talked all week pretty much.
That's right, man.
A couple texts here and there, but nothing like serious. Like, hey, I'm bleeding from the dick again. What happened last time you did that? Like, what did you do? You know, that kind of stuff. Advice for, old guys.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody shot cum in my eye, so I'm good.
Notice
or anything else.
Notice
or
how
anything
I didn't
else.
say that about myself. I'm living the dream, baby.
Well, man, I know you get wild when you're jerking it, so you got to keep the goggles on.
One time I actually hit myself in the cheek. It was pretty funny. I was living with a bunch of roommates, and I was touching myself, and I shot so far up, it hit my cheek, ricocheted off my cheek, it hit my headboard, and I like ran out of my room. Like, hey guys, check it out, look what I did. And there's like jizz hanging off my cheek. And it was two girls that I lived with, and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, are you serious?" I was like, "It's hilarious, right?" They go, "No, it's not funny." And then I ended up hooking up with one of the girls and having kids with them. So they must have found it pretty funny, or maybe she just felt bad for me. I'm not sure how that worked out.
If you quit trying to reenact that something about Mary scene,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So man,
now that makes that okay. Let's go from that point just for the moment before we jump into everything else.
Yeah.
So talking about unusual masturbatory events.
Yeah.
I'll say mine first, and then you can say yours after mine, since that was a pretty interesting story about what happened.
Oh, I got much better than that.
Yeah. What is one of the most embarrassing situations that ever happened to you masturbating? And I'll tell you mine. Yeah, I'll tell you mine first. Mine was when I was married to my first wife. That I went out to a concert, so my hearing was a little bit worse than normal, but I was kind of drunk.
Yeah.
And I came home and I wanted to watch a film. She was already passed out. I wasn't going to wake her up in like 2:00 in the morning. So,
like I'm taking style. Wake up, Lois. I'm going to make you feel beautiful. And he's like rolling around on top of her.
Exactly. So I decided just to say, hey, I'll take care of my own business and go to bed. I'm tired, but I'm horny. And so, my volume control wasn't quite as low as I thought it was because my hearing was pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
So I'm in there going to town. All of a sudden she comes walking out like, what in the hell's going on in here? Unfortunately, she didn't decide she wanted to join in. She just looked at me like with a whatever and walked back into the room.
But as a guy, you would have like jumped in there. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's work with this. This is good.
Yeah, exactly. But that was toward the end of our marriage, so things weren't really going well in that department. But that's my most embarrassing story. I don't have anything really crazy. Like my parents didn't kick the door in on me or something crazy like that. So
I do remember once when I was like young, my mom walked in. She's like, "Why are you all sweaty? What are you doing?" She fucking knew what I was doing. And I'm, probably like 7 or 8 years old trying to find lies as to what I'm doing. And then she just left. I'm just like, God damn, I would say that was a close call, but that was a little bit beyond a close call. That was the emergency call. But it didn't make me stop doing it, So to this day, it's still 2 or 3 times a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it didn't make me fear it.
Jesus, man, you're gonna be shooting out knee cartilage. You keep up that pace.
No, man, it helps with prostate cancer.
Hell, it does. I'll probably die of prostate cancer then.
I think I'm going to be the cure for prostate cancer for the amount of times I masturbate. They're gonna have to like carve me up and like turn me into some sort of serum.
What's in that jar, Mr. Clay?
There was a time I was dating this girl right out of high school, and she, myself, and our mutual friend were doing a drive to Vancouver. So it was about 4 hours from where we lived. And we're driving, and there's this place called Manning Park. It's like a recreational park. It's huge forestry. There's like a ski resort, camping, just beautiful, British Columbia, mountains and trees. Right. And there is a big statue of a marmot, which is like a groundhog kind of thing.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. I've heard of those.
Yeah. So it was like a big marmot, like on a pedestal kind of thingy where you park your car, and there was nobody else around. And she was like, hey, so can I like get down to brown panties? You guys take some pictures of me? I'm just like, well, this is kind of weird, but I'm in. So yeah, she got up on the top of the Marmot and she got down to her bra and panties, and my friend and I took pictures, and we laughed about it. And then she's like, hey, before we leave, before you guys can get into my car, you both have to jerk off onto the Marmot, you on one side and you on the other side. And we're just looking at each other. We're like, what? And she's like, you're not getting in the car until you each jerk off and finish up. And then you get back in my car. Other than that, you're trapped here. And my friend is like, yeah, sure. And he just starts walking over there, dropped his pants and started going to town. I'm just like, all right, so I guess I have to do this now. He was not the shy type, like at all.
Obviously, yes.
And
is this the person that has the last initials of W?
It does.
I bet it does. Okay.
And so to start off the road trip, actually, we picked him up at his apartment, and it was a new apartment. I'd never been to it before. And I was looking at one of the door frames, and you know how like parents will draw like with pen or a pencil, like how tall their kid is getting. So like on the door frame, and I noticed that there's all these lines on the door frame, and I'm like, that's really fucking weird because there's no kid that's like 1.5 feet tall. Like, what the hell are you measuring from the ground up that has all these lines? So I was like, hey man, are you like, was this freshly painted when you came in here? He's like, yeah, everything was painted. Like even this door frame? He's like, yeah, freshly painted. I'm like, what are the lines? Like, I'm very intrigued as to what is being measured here. You've only been here like a week. And he's like, oh, I lay down in the door jamb area and I jerk off and see how high I can shoot. And then I write down what I ate that day. And if I watched porn that day, and if I didn't jerk off the day before, I jerked off twice that day. I was like, I keep in like a running tally of like what makes me shoot the highest. And I'm just standing there and she's standing there. We're like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, like seriously, that's how high I can shoot my jizz. I'm like, all right, cool. So I guess in her head, 4 hours later, she just sort of wanted to see us perform, to see us shoot our jizz. So yeah, he went to one side, I went to the other side, and while we're doing it, a car pulls up, people going, camping or hiking or whatever. So we have to like put a dick in our pants and pull our shorts or our pants up, whatever we're wearing, and just stand there, talk. They get out of the car, they grab their hiking shit, they start walking into the trees, and then we start doing it again. But yeah, she wanted to come over and inspect that we actually finished up, and he finished first, I finished second. We both sat in the car, and guess what I felt? Absolutely no shame whatsoever. Because I knew one day I'd be talking about it and recording and showing it to the world.
Well, until we do video, you won't be showing that to the world.
It's true. I mean, telling, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a pretty painted picture, is it not?
Oh yeah. Well, the Marmot really sells it.
Well, it was like 8 feet high and 13 feet wide. It's a big fucking statue.
I need to Google this and just see a picture of the Marmot, just so Google I can go. Yeah, and I can say I know that you just on that statue.
The Manning Park Marmot. Yep.
Manning Park Marmot.
Yeah, I do still have the picture of her in her bra and panties on it though.
Well.
So obviously I'm not going to throw that away.
No, don't throw that away. Some things you got to keep. Some things you got to keep. So
I guess that's the masturbation story for the week.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing to start any new show. New show with, right? So.
Finish it, continue it. The whole topic that week is all masturbation. I'm in.
Yeah, well, it's something that I think pretty much every person that's a male can identify with.
Well, that's weird. I had a roommate.
Actually, or not male, considering these days. So,
I had a roommate. This is like right after high school, so it was first year university, and one of our roommates. We had a bunch of roommates, like 6 of us living in like a 3-bedroom house. It was very inconvenient but fun, and there was really no privacy for the guys that were living on the couch. So if they started touching themselves in the middle of the night, you walk out to like go take a piss or something, you catch them doing it. So one of our friends caught our other friends doing it, and he was questioning it, like not like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? It's disgusting. I sit on that couch. It's more like, can you describe it to me? How does it feel? And we're all looking at each other like, what do you mean? How does it feel? And he's like, I've never done it before.
Oh, wow.
So he'd never had sex at that point, and he'd also never masturbated. So we're trying to describe it to him and how all of us have our own little technique and stuff. And then he's like, all right, good to know. And he walked into his room and he's like, don't disturb me. And then every day for like 3 weeks, he would tell us about it. And then at like the 3-week mark, he's like, yeah, I'm done with that experiment. Done. I was like, you're never doing it again? He's like, no, I got what I wanted out of it. I'm done. It's so weird. And well,
that is weird.
The same roommate, I came home from school one day and there was 2 Jehovah's Witnesses sitting at our kitchen table. And I'm like, hey man, what's up? He's like, oh, these are so-and-so and so-and-so. They're just going door to door talking about their religion. So I invited them in. I was like, all right, cool. I started doing my homework and shit. And then, they leave after he makes them tea or whatever. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm intrigued as to what they were telling me. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious right now? Door-to-door religion is a thing that you're interested in. And he invited them back week after week after week. And then he was like, all right, so I'm done. And the guy's like, what? He goes, well, I'm done. I don't believe in whatever you're telling me. He's like, you've invited us in your house every week for like a month. And he's like, yeah, I got everything I wanted from you. I realize that what you're telling me is a crock of shit, and I'd like you to leave. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just letting you know that no matter what you say is not going to convince me to join your little cult. And then they just left like all dumbfounded. And I was waiting for the punchline. I was like, dude, you built them up for a month? That's like the long con.
Right? It's like religion catfishing.
Yeah. And he's like, no, seriously, I was interested. I did some thinking and now I'm not interested. So they're on their way and I don't want to talk about it. Like, all right. Same guy that masturbated for 3 weeks and never did it again. So I don't know.
I don't know. That's pretty trippy. I mean, I thought it was weird enough. I may or may not have ever told you this, the fact that I never actually masturbated until after I had sex with a woman. I think did I ever tell you that?
I don't know. I've been doing it since I was like 6 and shit. So
I don't know. I was 18.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was having sex with women when I was 6 as well. So it makes sense to not do
it. There you go.
Right? I mean, obviously they were all Italian supermodels. They're all my babysitters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Nope. I did not do that. I was a good boy.
But now you're making up for it, right? Lost time?
Well, I did for a while. Right now I'm kind of, taking my time again, apparently. So
I literally do it like twice a day minimum.
Wow.
Yep. It's a thing.
Nah, I've practiced the whole thing with the tantra work that I do. You don't want to release the energy. You want to build it up, because when you build it up, that's when you can do stuff where you can do like the tantric orgasms where you don't come. I mean, well, you orgasm, but you don't ejaculate, basically. So,
well, I mean, I haven't taken those courses. I haven't learned that.
I know.
So, I mean, I've got an hour and a half free every morning and or night. So I just divide it up into 2 beat off sessions.
Well, that still leaves you with like what, an hour and 25 minutes?
Well, it's 45 minutes each roughly.
Wow.
I give myself an hour before I was like, well, it's 2 a.m. I'm going to fall asleep at 3. I'll just go wind down.
There you go. What's Canadian porn? Is that like girls in snow and bikinis and
igloos, dog sleds? Yeah, you name it. Good beer. Yeah. Good people beer. Talking weird.
Used to always hear the jokes about Canadian strippers getting hit with loonies, hit with coins.
Oh, it's remarkable. They bring like a magnet up on stage to collect all their earnings.
Yeah.
How weird is that?
Clink, is that clink, true?
Clink. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it wasn't when we had $1 and $2 bills, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I was too young for that. Like, they got rid of those when like 1986. They got rid of the dollar bill.
Oh yeah.
And then like 92, they got rid of the $2 bill. So I mean, it was all before I was going to see strippers and stuff. But yeah, they use magnets and shit to pick up all their earnings. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, I brought home a loonie the last time I went to Canada. So I guess there's a toonie and a loony, right? Yeah. So might have been a toonie I brought home. I can't remember.
The toonie's like a two-tone. It's silver with a gold center.
Yeah, that's what I got. It's got the silver with the gold center. Yeah.
I remember being in Seattle probably 2002, and I don't know why I went into this certain hotel. It was downtown. It was a nice lobby. I just liked the area, and the hotel was beautiful. So I was walking around, and I had to go. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I had to mail something.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had to mail something, but I had to pay them for it because the front desk had stamps, and they gave me change, and they gave me these like Sacagawea dollars as change. I got these little gold dollars, and like, where's my green dollar bill? Like, oh, this is like a limited edition kind of thing where we got a bunch of like gold dollars right now. It's like, welcome to my country,
Yeah.
But so I kept it. I thought it was cool, but then I realized it's worth $1. So
yeah, I've got a couple of them just for whatever, but I mean, they're not worth anything.
I remember my aunt collects like 50-cent pieces and the silver dollars. Whenever we were little and we would get them, we would always trade her for them all the time. Same with US $2 bills, right? Super hard to find now.
Yeah, $2 bills, right? Yeah, I got some of those right here, actually.
Like circulated, uncirculated?
No, I think they're let's see here. This is like some old money I have. This is I got a $1 silver certificate.
What is that?
It's a dollar bill that says at the bottom, instead of what it normally says, it says $1 in silver payable to the bearer upon demand. This is a 1957 $1 bill. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. I got those when I was a kid from like my uncle for a birthday. And then I've got 5 $2 bills that let's see when these were printed. 1963, 70, so old stuff. And then some really nice ones. I've got a 19, God, what year is this? A 1934 $10 bill.
Oh wow, look at that.
And yeah, and
is it still got what, Hamilton? Is that on your 10?
Yeah.
Is it still Hamilton?
Yeah, it's still Hamilton. And
well,
so
they change ours.
Oh yeah.
Like our queen hasn't changed on our dollars, on our paper money, but they do change the other people from time to time.
Yeah. So I got 3 1934 $10 bills. Mm-hmm. And so these are just kind of like collectibles that I keep, just kind of.
Oh yeah, cool. You are the keeper of collectibles.
I am the overkeeper of collectibles. I'd be the guy that'd be like, you see this jar here? That's Elvis's toenail. I got it out of the carpet when I was in Graceland. I heard some story about somebody who actually did that.
Well, how do they know it was his? Like, honestly,
they don't. But I mean, the
chances are pretty good. Nobody is like walking around clipping their nails,
right? Probably not, but I don't know. It didn't come with like a fried banana sandwich. Go, yeah, it's definitely the king's toenail.
I made one of those fried banana sandwiches a couple weeks ago with like the bacon grease.
Yeah,
it's not as good as I would hope.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like it would appeal to me either.
But I did like the Reese peanut butter cups, the Elvis ones I found at Graceland.
Oh, that sounds nice.
There's a layer of banana cream in them, so it's like peanut butter and chocolate by Reese's peanut butter cup with a layer of like banana cream in it, and Elvis is on the wrapper.
Well, let's just hope it's banana cream.
Well, I mean, either way, it was delicious.
That probably is. I never have had that.
So what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing? Well, got a new washing machine ordered. I've got a washing machine, a washer, and bought a new refrigerator. So we're waiting on delivery of those.
What are you gonna do with the old one?
Well, both of them are messed up. The washer won't work, so I've been having to wash clothes at the laundromat, and that sucked. And the fridge that I have that I'm getting rid of, I got for free, like, I don't know, 7 years ago. Yeah. And last year, the year before, it started occasionally just freezing stuff, on the refrigerator side. And so that's really kind of inconvenient.
Do you want to know what you can probably look at?
What's that?
On the very bottom, there'll be a vent.
Uh-huh.
Like on the outside, there should be a vent you can access through taking off the bottom panel. There should be like a radiator like your car has.
Uh-huh.
And it blows the hot air out the back, but sucks in the air in the front. That could be clogged, which is making the motor think, hey, it's not the right temperature in here. We need to pump some more cold out. Happens at work all the time to my coolers. I just open up the panel. I look where the radiator is. I get a brush. I brush it out. Boom, done. Nothing freezes.
Huh.
So it could be a 15-minute max fix for your free refrigerator.
Okay.
So yeah, go take the bottom panel off and take a look at it, or pull the fridge out. The panel might be in the back. I don't know how your fridge is designed. But yeah. Look for your compressor. There should be like fins like a radiator somewhere. And I'll bet you your intake is blocked.
Okay. Well, I might be able to cancel the other one. Although I tell you what, I mean, even though
you want the new one,
yeah.
So sell the other one.
Yeah, it's much bigger, and size is everything.
It is apparently,
but no, it's super cool. It's got the 2-piece door, so you just like push the button, you open the front door. It's got a whole bunch of shelves, and it's got more shelves on the inside. And if you don't press the button, you just pull the handle, then you pull the whole front door part out, and then you have the actual fridge behind it. It's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger fridge. I mean, this fridge is like, what's like 26 cubic feet or something. It's like massive.
I would love like a gourmet ass kitchen in my house. I'm a cooker, so
then I guess we would be good roommates, wouldn't we? Because I'm a cooker too.
So we should probably get all the good shit.
Yeah, no shit. Like stainless steel, like a fucking a Viking range, like a.
And then the layer
professional
of Reese peanut butter cups, we get those.
That's only if we have the girls over while we're making dinner.
You just have to wipe my headboard to get the cream. That's it.
Yeah, I need to invest in buying you some extra towels.
No, we just got to find someone to lick it up.
Yeah, there you go. There's people that are into that. They'll probably be around. I mean, we can find people who are into eating ass, so I'm sure we can find that.
Not gonna lie, I've gone down that road.
Me too.
And I'm not embarrassed by it or shy. But I can tell you that doing it in the shower or doing it in a hot tub makes it taste a lot better than doing it in a bedroom.
I'm sure it does.
It sure does. I love my hot tub. That's all I can say.
Well, that's mandatory too.
The hot tub?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a shitty thing to clean every week and chemicalize, but I use it like 5 days a week minimum.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting my money's worth out of it. All the stuff that's I've had to repair and stuff, it's easily worth it.
Yeah.
I use my toilet and my bed probably more, and that's it.
Yeah, that's quite a bit then. But no, man, I love to cook too. You know, it's like I thought about that today about like missing having somebody to really cook for. You know, like.
I do it for myself. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, I cook
and
my
kids. Like, my daughter, she walks in the house after gymnastics, and she'd be like, "You made broccoli soup today," and I was like, "Good job." And like the next week, she'd be like, "You made schnitzel today." So like, she'll walk in the door and she'll smell something, and she's usually right on the money.
She's got the nose for it, I guess.
She eats,
catch the sense.
Cash her outside. How about that? No.
We're not going to talk about that girl making $6 million $1 million in 6 hours.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm done.
With her, yeah.
Well, it's just like I don't know. Guys can get free porn everywhere. Why would you pay her?
I say that every day. I'm like, why would you just throw money away? It's kind of like the day when you realize, hey, there's really no point in going to a strip club. Because I mean, I can have blue balls at home. I don't really need to go to the strip club for it, Yeah. As the infamous saying from Chris Rock goes, there is no sex in the champagne room.
There is no sex in the champagne room.
I'd say that's true, but I'm guessing that for some certain high rollers, there probably is sex in the champagne room. But
money talks.
Yeah, but for guys who don't have like a thick stack of bills, it ain't happening.
So do you find it kind of funny? We're just like, hey guys, so we're going to talk about what we did this week. And you're like, well, I bought a fridge and a washer. So you're like, wow, these people are old because I replaced marker lights on my truck. Like my week is like work and kids, but I've had one of my marker lights has been out on my H3 for like 4 months. So I bought a new marker light for it. It's like a 60-cent light bulb.
Okay, what is a marker light?
Like a blinker.
Oh, okay.
So one of my blinker lights is out.
Okay.
And so I know it's like my passenger side was out. So I went and bought one of the bulbs, and the guy's like, do you just want to buy two and replace them both? And I was like, no, just buy one. Like there's only one that's out. I don't want to have like bulbs sit in my glove compartment for like 10 years.
Right.
Because I've never replaced one of those, and I've owned the vehicle for 10 years.
Right.
Why would I buy two and have a bulb just sitting in there for 10 fucking years? Even though it's only 60 cents, it's not the money. It's just the idea that I don't need that shit sitting around.
Right.
So I look at a YouTube video, because most times when you replace it, you just pop the hood and you can view your lights. You pull the plug, you put it in, you're good to go.
Right.
But apparently on a 2006 H3, you have to take off the front grille. You have to take off all the fender, the stoppers, the plugs, the clips by the wheel well. And then you have to take off two brackets that are attached the headlights to the fender above the front tires. And then you have to pull the front fender up about 30 degrees to reach your hand in to get to the marker bulb.
Jesus, that's a lot of work.
So, it was like fucking an hour and a half of my life. And I take the bulb out, I put the new one in, I check, yep, it works, it's on, it blinks, I assemble everything. And I was like, oh man, I'm a man, this is awesome. And then 2 weeks later, the driver's side goes out. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because if I just listened to that guy, right? If I just listened and replaced both, but I would still would have had to take off the fender on the other side. So, right. But I would have at least had the grill already taken off. So I was just, and it was like minus 40. So I did it on a day when it was like minus 2 out. So it wasn't that cold. It was still cold, but not that cold. So I did it, and I was like, I'm not gonna replace the other one because it's fine minus 40. Like I'm not doing anything outside in this fucking weather. Right. So finally yesterday I went and picked up a marker light, and I parked the truck, and I took off the grill, and I took off the fender, and I got to it. And what I noticed is that when I pulled the light bulb out and I turned my truck on, like I pulled out the bulb from its socket, but I left the bulb in the wire harness, the light was on, but it wasn't blinking. And I was like, okay. So then I checked the back one, it's like the light's on, but it's not blinking. So then there's another bulb like attached to my headlight, but it's not a headlight, it's the front blinker. Because there's one in the front and one on the side.
Okay.
So when you have oncoming traffic.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I pulled all those bulbs out. They're still attached to their wiring. They're all lit up. So there's nothing wrong with the bulbs that I had. They just weren't blinking. So I was like, well, this is fucking stupid. I'm going to replace that marker light anyway, because I'm already there and I've already got everything pulled apart. But now I want to replace that other bulb, but I didn't buy that bigger bulb because that's not what I thought was the problem.
All right.
But I went into my glove compartment thinking I replaced my taillight blinker on my passenger side like 6 months ago, and I bought a 2-pack. So I know there's a bulb in somewhere in this vehicle. It was in my glove compartment. So then I replaced it, and the blinker worked. So then I looked at the bulb that didn't work, and there's 2 filaments. There's a lower filament and an upper filament. So one is a solid light and one is the blinker. One of them was out. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, it's all good. It's all put together, and I felt quite proud of myself, but it was an hour and a half out of my day that I will never fucking get back.
Yeah. And that indeed proves that we're old. And that's the kind of story that excites us.
Well, I remember getting an oil change like 2 months ago, and the guy's like, hey, one of your marker lights is out. You want us to replace it? I'm like, yes, I do. Go for it. He's like, okay, how do we do it? I was like, you got to take my front panel off and you got to take my fenders off. He's like, yeah, we're not going to do that. I was like, all right, cool. So they offered to do it while I was getting an oil change. It's like, you're going to be here an hour and a half getting an oil change if that's what you're doing.
Right.
But they probably would have had all the right tools, right? I'm just a guy that doesn't build shit. So,
well, like I said, I guess that leaves out us, like you said, doing home renovations on a 500-year-old building as part of our future plans.
Yeah,
so
there's no way that it would just look like trash.
The 2 of us trying to do it would look like 2 Keystone cops trying to fuck a football.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
It would be ugly. We'd be like, well, it's back together, and it'd be like this like ramshackle looking whatever.
Oh, it'd be terrible. I mean, all those places that we were looking at are super nice.
Oh yeah.
If we need to do renovations, I mean, I can paint, I can fill holes in walls, but I can't wire anything.
Yeah, me neither. No.
And those old things there's not enough power to like run a hot tub or like.
Oh God, no.
You're gonna need separate generators for stuff. It sucks, but a lot of old, beautiful buildings.
Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, Charlie Ray and I were checking out like retirement places in the south of France, and they're relatively inexpensive, but a little bit of work to put in to make it not livable. They're already totally livable, but nice.
They're at least able to be lived in. I'm not sure about how livable totally are compared to maybe what we've been used to before, but some of the old houses are pretty. Some of them are nice, some of them are pretty rough. It just depends on what you're wanting to do.
Teapot and I always talk about how Europe is the land of inconvenience. Like you want to drive on a 2-lane road, too bad, it's a 1-lane road. You want to drive up to your house and not have it to be an 80-degree like hill, too bad, that's what it is. Oh, sorry, you want air conditioning? Sorry, we don't have that. Like we don't find air conditioning. Unless you're gonna get like a Howard Johnson or like a Best Western or something, you're not getting air conditioning.
Well, I already knew this, but you could definitely observe the fact that there are no such things as screens in the windows.
No,
they're just a window that's just open.
Yeah,
that's it.
I know it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
stuff that we're not used to, right? I mean, there's beauty out there, but then there's super inconvenience out there.
Yeah, yep, there is. But going back a little bit to what we're talking about things that have excited me over the last month. The things, like I said, the things that excite you is just getting those projects done, man. That's the thing. You gotta work. You gotta have a list of projects, and you gotta work the list.
Yeah.
But I got the garage door done. Oh, I moved a bunch of stuff and got shelving for the basement. Then I moved some stuff off the porch because of the washing machine. So I moved that to the storage unit. So that'll be out of the way. And then I get these 2 things in. Then the next thing I got to do is replace about half of my privacy fence because all the runners, the ones that go back and across, they're all rotten now. I mean, the privacy fence like 40 years old, 45 years old. So it was there when my parents bought that house. So I gotta do that. And then once that's done, I can put up a carport and then start really working on my basement. And then once that's done, then I can finally get to building the studio space that I want to build. So one by one, man.
It's true. I ordered taillights for my car yesterday that I've been on phone tag and email tag for like 2 months with this company in North Carolina to replace my car taillights because I bought my original set for them, but nobody else makes them anymore but them. But I really like those taillights. So
wow.
It's just been, they're a custom set of LEDs. So there's like, I've got 4 taillights in my Camaro, the car that I visited you in that for lunch.
Right. Yeah.
So there's 4 taillights and there's like 11 strips of LED or 14 strips of LEDs on each side, and they sequentially blink when you turn. So it's just like, it starts from the outer, our inner, and goes all the way to the outer, like all in a row. And one of my taillights is faulty right now. So it's either A, not working, or B, flashing randomly all the time. And I can't drive around like that. And I don't know what the problem is. And I asked them and they said, no, there's something wrong. Like it's you've had 10 years with it, man. Like you need a new set. I was like, no, fair enough. But they haven't got back to me with like payment and shipping. And finally yesterday, after like calling them 3 days in a row and leaving messages, and the secretary's like, I don't understand why he hasn't called you back. I gave him the messages. I'm like, well, I guess you guys don't want my $400. It's pretty simple.
God.
Right?
Wow.
It's pretty simple. You just don't want my $400 for something that is over 10 years old.
Yeah.
And the guy got back to me yesterday and I got my stuff ordered in. So
cool. Well, you got to get it in time. I mean, what do you have, like a week of summer up there? And then
it's about that. Usually I'm already driving my car, but I can't now. I just got to wait for these fuckers to deliver that shit. Then I got to make an appointment at the shop to get it installed. So I'm probably looking at driving my car for 3 months this year, which is okay. Like, I mean, first world problems. I have 2 vehicles, for me.
Yeah. So. And we're still in the middle of a lockdown. So.
Oh yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my alarm at my house wasn't working. Like I couldn't access my door locks on the app. So I couldn't unlock my door for my babysitter. So then I had to give her my password to get in.
Oh man.
And that's like the opposite of what you want to do with your secret password, is to give it to people.
Yeah.
So I told the alarm company, I was like, this is not cool, man. And plus my outside video camera is not working. There's no power to it. I'm like, just fix this shit. Like I pay you guys monthly, just fix it. So they're gonna have to send me stuff and I'm gonna have to test it out myself to see what the actual problem is before they send someone to install something.
Oh, nice.
So they said there's absolutely no connectivity. They can't see it on the network. I can't see it on the network. I was like, yep, I told you that. So yeah, yesterday was just a day of like manly grown-up shit.
Yeah.
And usually my days consist of watching TV shows and, touching myself for an hour and a half and, hanging out with friends and working and doing kid stuff. I finished The Good Place. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. That's the one with Ted Danson?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I've seen some episodes and it's on my potentially to watch list.
It is. So it's only 12 episodes a season at 22 minutes an episode.
Oh, that's not bad. How many seasons? 4. Oh, that's pretty short.
Yeah. I started watching it like a year and a half ago, and then I started watching something else and forgot about it. And then my friend's like, did you ever finish it? I'm like, oh, fuck. So like a week and a half ago, I just like sat down, and anytime I had a free, 45 minutes, I'd plug away at 2 episodes. And the last episode, watching it, I'm just sitting there on the couch yesterday before I was going to work, and tears come into my eye and I'm starting to choke up. I'm just like, what the fuck is this show doing to me? It ended so heartwarming. The final bit is just, Well,
that definitely sounds like a good heartwarming show.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
That is actually the complete opposite of the series that I just finished.
Yeah.
So I just finished watching season 1 of The Deuce. Which, have you heard of The Deuce?
Well, sometimes on a daily basis I take a deuce. I'm suspecting the show has nothing to do with poop.
No, I can't even think if there's really any scenes of anybody in the toilet, so I don't think so. But so the Deuce TV show is a 3-season long show, and the main star, and he's like also like a producer on it, is James Franco. James Franco is right. Yeah. So anyway, so the Deuce, it's got James Franco in it, and he plays twins in it. Him and a twin brother. So his character is Vincent. His brother's name is Frankie.
Yeah.
And then Maggie Gyllenhaal, who I've always had the hots for, although she's getting a little bit up there in age nowadays.
Oh, but no. Man, older women are terrible.
She's not terrible. She's still hot, but I mean, she's getting a little older these days.
Have you seen Jennifer Aniston? She's way hotter than she ever was on Friends.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, didn't want to there.
But anyway, so she plays like a hooker. And so the show is, and the reason why that makes sense is this show is set, the season 1, it's all I've seen so far. Season 1 is set in 1971, and it's based around 42nd Street between 7th and 8th Avenue in New York. So basically right by Times Square, which back in the early 70s,
ghetto.
New York was, that area was very ghetto. It was very rough. Let's just put it that way. It was a very rough and not good area. And so the story is based upon their main characters, and there's a bunch of other characters, but there's a whole bunch of like pimps and their girls and really kind of showing not in depth, but pretty in depth about the whole pimp scene and hookers. and the drug trade and the mafia and like the corruption and all this stuff. So, I mean, yeah, definitely not your feel good stories. I mean, there's people getting shanked in the alley. There's a hooker gets pushed out of a window and killed. Hooker gets beat up by a John. I mean, just all kinds of things. I mean, realistic stuff and pretty graphic sexual stuff in it too.
Is it on an app or a service, or is it just DVD, or where are you watching it?
Well, I got the DVD from the library, which is what I do to get most of the stuff that I watch. So I do a lot of binge watching the DVDs. So the season 1 is basically, the setup of the characters, and the series is set up to follow them through different snapshots in time. So season 2, which I haven't seen, is based around like 77 to 78. So it's like 6 years down the road. Like, where are these characters at? What's their lives like? What changes? And then the last season is set like around somewhere between 83 and 85, basically. And kind of, so basically it's tracking the rise of really before pornography really started to the rise and start of pornography. And they were talking, like it was exploring the beginning of like what peep shows were like, and like, and you think about how much money there used to be in pornography, and there's none anymore. I mean, like you said, it's free on the internet, and people
you pay for your weekly or your monthly internet fee, and you have unlimited amounts of porn you can get.
Can you imagine the damage you would have done to yourself at 14 years old if you had access to what kids can get a hold of today? Oh my
God, we had to steal VHS and like Playboys and Hustlers from like dads.
I
remember visiting my cousin, and we were heading down to the river. He lived up in like a little mountain town, and we're just walking down this pathway to the river and just looking to our right, and there's like 5, Hustlers. We're just like, this is like a fucking gold mine. But then I think, wait, we can't bring this back to the house. Where are we going to put it? So yeah, we're just like, oh, well, it's a gold mine, but it's someone else's gold mine. But that was a gold mine back then.
Oh yeah. Anything was.
I even own like porn DVD like 15 years ago. Like the girl I was dating, we bought a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I remember after we had kids, our babysitter, who was one of our employees, is just like, hey, so I wanted to watch one of your DVDs while the kid was sleeping, and I had to take out the old DVD, and well, I know what you guys were watching, and we left the porn in the DVD player.
Oops.
It is
what it is. Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever I remember like one time I found because back in the day before kids had to be supervised 24/7. You go out and play in the woods, you'd be gone for hours, until dark hit and stuff like that. At least I could. And, and kids would tend to kind of create their own little forts or little campsites or stuff out in the middle of woods everywhere. It's like what you said. And that's where I first stumbled across a couple of magazines out in the woods, like in a box, it's some other kid's, stash, out in the middle of the woods was his stash. Brought that one home, got caught. My grandma caught it a couple months later underneath the mattress of the bed. No magazine, but yeah, we had a rough. It was like the dark ages. It was like medieval times that we had to go through compared to kids nowadays.
The amount of money I spent on YouTube bootlegs because I couldn't download MP3s of live songs. Yeah, like just countless trips down to Washington State to go to the old CD and record stores, and I was just buying up everything.
Right.
And then 6 years later,
it's all free.
It was free, but I mean, right before that, I remember Yahoo had like an eBay type thing. They had Yahoo auctions. And I bought a CD burner, and I was burning copies of all of that live U2 stuff, because every time I uploaded it onto eBay, they pulled it because it was like not mine. It was property of I don't own U2's music, therefore I shouldn't be able to sell live music. Right. But these are all bootlegs, right? Like U2 didn't own these bootlegs. This fan taped them. So Yahoo auctions wouldn't pull them, and I was buying these for like $60 US for a double disc show, like a 2.5 hour show. And I was selling them on Yahoo auctions for like $60 for a double set. So I made all my money back, and I still got to keep all my copies.
Oh, nice.
But then Yahoo auctions went the way of the dodo because eBay was the shit.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like you said, you collect a bunch of stuff, and then 30 years later, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So the Deuce has been it's obviously a much darker place than the Good Place, but it's interesting. I really like period pieces. I like historical stuff, mainly because, especially if it's something that I kind of lived through that time frame. I mean, I remember the mid 70s and cars and clothes and stuff like that. So I mean, the lapels and the bell bottoms and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of, it's kind of like when I watched that biopic on NWA. It's like I was like 19 when all that stuff was really going down. I was watching all this stuff on the news and on MTV and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, that seems pretty close to what I remember, or like that doesn't sound like right, So it's interesting to see a movie that's like considered history that you live through. That's makes you feel old, that's for sure.
It sure does.
Yeah.
All right. So when you were watching the 3 seasons of the show, is it old or new? Like you said, you got the DVDs, right? So I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's I think season 3 came out like last year, or I don't even know if season 3 is on DVD yet. Season 1 I think was like 2016 or 2017, and then like the next season was like 18 or 19, and the third season like 20 maybe. I don't know. It's not very old. It's not super old. And I'd never heard of it either. I just was bored digging through DVDs and at the library. I just look up seasons to see what kind of shows or, like TV shows are available. And I was like, oh, this one looks interesting. I looked up the description of it. I thought, sounds pretty cool. So I watched the trailer. I thought, well, yeah, that looks interesting. I dig the scene. It's a pretty interesting look at the seedy side, of course, a little glamorized, fictionalized, of course. Yeah. Supposedly it's based off of the head writer. One of the 2 head writers met this guy who they kind of based Vincent off of, that back in the 70s he was kind of, at least he claims to be, or apparently he's told pretty good stories, that he was a front man for some mob ran businesses. And that's kind of what happens to this character, Vincent. He's working at a bar, and he's managing the bar for this guy, and he's doing a really good job at it. And he kind of ends up knowing like a maid guy, in the mafia. Yeah. And he gets introduced to like a minor capo or whatever, like the lower level kind of boss is. And they kind of, they like the way he's doing business, and so they make him an offer he can't refuse. But basically there's a bar that's going out of business, and they have connections with it. They're like, hey, look, we'll buy this, we'll pay for this, you run it, you give us this much percentage. So basically, I mean, they just get, they front a business, he passes them money, they don't have to do squat except make the cash. And so this guy Vincent's a pretty straight character, and he's always right with the money. He's never trying to screw him or anything like that. And so from there he just gets more and more involved. His brother gets involved. And then they end up wanting him to like front a massage parlor, and he's like, I don't really want to do it. And his brother's like, hey, I need something to do. And his brother-in-law had basically almost had a heart attack. He was like a construction guy. He's like, I can't go back to work. I got 4 kids. What do you want me, to do? And so he's like, okay, like, I don't want nothing to do with this. And they're like, well, we'll run it. We'll just give you a cut. And so basically his only involvement, he just gets some money from him once in a while. But so his brother-in-law and his brother are kind of running this place, and it's basically just it's a indoor brothel basically. And then the cops are trying to roust all the hookers off the streets because they're wanting to get all the streetwalkers off the street to try to clean up the streets. So they're pushing them into these massage parlors, right? It's a really interesting story. I mean,
your show sounds better than my show. My show's just, Kristen Bell being hot and going to heaven after she dies. You know what I mean? Like,
Dak Shepard's a lucky man. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, he knows it. It's not like he doesn't know it.
No. Yeah, he does.
I listen to his podcast, and he definitely knows he's a lucky man.
Yeah. He is. He's a lucky man.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's adults doing grown-up shit, and one of us likes real life shows, and one of us likes shows about hot chicks in heaven.
Yeah, but hey, I watch animated shows still. So what do you think? I watched Soul last week. That was a really good.
Was it?
Movie.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet.
It's
great. On my list.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I mean,
I went and saw Nobody in the theater. That was amazingly awesome.
Yes, I went and saw that in the theater as well. It was. It was definitely, I don't know, would you say that was more or less believable than, say, John Wick?
Oh, it's way more believable.
That's what I thought too.
Because in John Wick, everybody seems to be assassin working for this hotel. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody on the street that you walk by happens to all work for the big companies killing people. It's
just a hotel full of assassins.
Yeah.
Nobody ever notices that. Oh yeah. And of course he's Superman. I mean, he's taking people out left and right and hardly ever. Well, I mean, he did get hurt a little bit, but that's what I liked about Nobody is that it seemed much grittier.
Well, I mean, I just listened to Bob Odenkirk have a chat about it, and he's like, if I'm going to do this, I have to get hurt. Like,
right.
I can't do these fights without walking away with black eyes or broken fingers, and then I can't use a gun with a broken finger. Like, we got to make sure it's, I'm not
accurate. Right.
I'm not a superhero.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping it does well enough. And they didn't go over the top, I don't think, with spending money as far as just wasting money on
hell no.
It was
stuff. Pretty easily done.
Yeah. And I would hope that it does well enough that they do a second one.
Yeah.
It's
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping. I'd like to see a Nobody too.
Christopher Lloyd was fucking awesome, right?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't had this much fun. What do you say? I haven't had this much fun since, I don't know. He was funny. He did a good job as his dad.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'd recommend that to anyone. I went and saw Raya and the Last Dragon, a Pixar or Disney.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
It was awesome. It was beautiful. Yeah. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best cartoons I've seen in like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I got even though there's not even though she's not in it, just her voice, I got a mad crush on what's her face, Aquafina.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
She's like the dragon, the lead, pretty much the second lead. Did you watch the trailer for Shang-Chi?
I have not seen the trailer for Shang-Chi. I've heard. Is she?
Yeah, she's in it.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Obviously, she's being goofball funny because that's like her thing.
Yeah. Which I like. I like the goofball thing, and she's really cute. I wouldn't say she's like knocked down, beautiful, gorgeous, but she's really cute, and I like her personality.
Like you saw Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes, I love that. That was a great movie.
I saw it on a plane. I was like, fuck, I want to watch this again and again. Like, that was a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that I waited so long to see it.
Yeah, I think I watched it on a plane too, actually. Yeah, it was a good movie. Well, what else have I said? I haven't watched a lot of things in the theater. I'm just not a big theater goer anymore. That chain Alamo Draft House,
Yeah.
They closed the one in Kansas City. It's permanently closed now.
They closed the one in LA as well.
Did they?
Yeah, they shut it down. It's going to come back though. It will. Maybe not the Kansas City one, but the one in New York, the one in Chicago, the one in Philadelphia, the one in LA, they'll reopen. Maybe owned by Netflix.
Right.
They're the ones with money and they're the ones making movies.
Right. Yeah, I was pretty bummed about that, mainly because I still have 4 rain checks for movies that I didn't get to use. So.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a Groupon like several years ago, and so I got all these IOU checks. After I used my first one, they gave like, okay, well here's all your IOUs for the tickets because you bought this. Like I bought 10 tickets, so I used 6 out of 10 tickets.
Did you get your money's worth, or did you?
Well, I mean, they were only $5 a piece with the coupon, so I mean, I had 10 tickets for $50. And so I saw 6 movies, and normal prices are like $8 to $10. Well, I mean, I basically ended up paying about normal price because I ate the 4 tickets, but
that's not too bad then.
Nah, it's not too bad. It is.
It still sucks. You didn't get a good deal, but you didn't get ripped off.
No, and I got a great theater here. We got a Cinemark, which is better than AMC, I think, at least for pricing. You catch a good matinee on the weekends, it's only like $4.25, maybe $5. Yeah. So as you can tell, I'm all about saving a buck here and nowadays.
If I had my way, I would only watch movies in IMAX. I would pay the $18 just to watch it on that screen. I mean, fuck, my friends and I drove to Salt Lake City to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy on IMAX there because it's like one of the biggest ones in the US.
Right.
Yeah. It's like 50 feet by 70 feet or something. That's the size of the screen.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man, back for a while, my first ex-wife, we were still friends, and she worked for AMC for a while. And so she had a certain number of passes she could give to friends. So I had a card that was good for me and one other person for any movie. You had to get the tickets within 2 hours of the show.
Yeah.
But I could go to anything, IMAX movies, 3D movies, any movies. I just couldn't buy them way in advance because like it was a big sold out show. You couldn't really use it. So, I mean, I got to see a bunch of IMAX movies for free. That was awesome.
Yeah, I have to drive 2.5 hours to get to an IMAX, so that kind of pisses me off. It's like 4 of us will go from work,
right,
split the gas and go have dinner, make an evening out of it. But yeah, I miss living 20 minutes from an IMAX. Oh my god, and 20 minutes from an airport.
Yeah,
I think I'm living in the wrong place.
Well, the amount of snow you get alone tells me I would not want to live there, but
yeah, freezing cold, middle of nowhere, but there's nothing to do, so your money tends to not be spent.
Yeah, that's true. I would say this would actually mean something to you, but where you're at, it doesn't. We got like 3 inches of snow this week. Like I woke up and there was like 3 or 4 inches of snow on my car, and by noon it was bright sunny and there was no snow anywhere to be found. It's like if I'd slept in, I never even would have known it snowed, and it looked like February.
Yeah, we get that all the time between like March and the end of May, where it'll be 19, 20 degrees. Like 2 days ago it was 20 degrees. And then last night driving home from work, it started to snow.
Right.
You know, I'm at home, I'm in the hot tub. There's a little bit of snow coming down. And then I go to bed, wake up, it's 8 degrees when I wake up, no snow anywhere. It's like, whatever. Like, you're trying so hard to snow, but it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. That was a trip. That actually set a record for us this week. That was the latest and heaviest snow that Kansas City's ever had. Because I mean, it snowed a few times in my life in April, but we've never gotten more than like an inch or a little bit of a dusting of snow. This was actually, I mean, it was 3.5, 4 inches, almost enough to please a lady.
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
So I've been told.
Yeah.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, I've got a friend who lives in Regina, and they got like half a foot of snow in the last week.
Jeez.
It's like, that must suck. And it's not going anywhere. It's like, you know, -3 degrees, and it's not going anywhere until that sun hits and like +10. They're gonna have that snow. So we're fortunate. We don't have a late snow this year.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. But don't sell it short. You still got time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why my car isn't insured and my truck still is.
Yeah.
Because there's always a time. If I insure it in April, there's always like a 2-week period where I got to park my car and reinsure my truck. And then once that 2 weeks is up and the snow's melted, I reinsure my car and I park my truck. I'm just going to say fuck it for now and wait till May 1st. And
probably a good idea.
Except for this year. Stupid taillights. I'm going to have to wait till June. Is what it is.
It is what it is. Have you watched any of the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I watch it like I'm getting paid to watch it. Like, yeah, I fucking love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last episode comes out tomorrow, and it makes me happy, but also makes me sad because it's the last one.
Yeah, I'm waiting until they put a few of these out. I got a friend of mine who's willing to give me his Disney Plus password. So
wait till watch WandaVision.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them because I don't have it. So
yeah, but if he gives you the password, watch WandaVision because it's all out right now, right?
Yeah,
and in a month we get Loki, which is going to be fucking epic.
That is going to be great. Yes,
that's the big one I'm waiting for.
Once Loki's out, then I'll probably go back and I'll start binge watching the stuff. What was the other thing? You ever watch Barry? Have you ever seen Barry?
No, I haven't, but I really want to. That's with like Henry Winkler and
Bill Hader.
Yeah,
season 1. I've watched season 1 twice, and season 2 is done and it's out, but they haven't put it out on DVD. So again, can't watch it unless I got HBO or
I'll go try and see if I can get it on my Android box. That's usually where I watch the things that I don't get.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about season 2, so I don't want to look it up. It's hard to not look stuff up to know what's going on because it's like I don't want to ruin it. I want to watch it and get it, you know. But season 1 is awesome. I mean,
no, I'm definitely gonna get it. It's on my list for sure, 100%.
Again, you can see I kind of gravitate toward the darker shows, you know, Hitman show, hookers and mafia people. You know, I love The Sopranos back in the day, and Justified was a great series.
Oh, Justified was fantastic.
I love that show.
The second last episode of The Good Place, Maya Rudolph plays a judge on the show. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, I've been binge watching so much TV with all the free time I have. Justified, I can't tell you enough nice things about that attractive Timothy Olyphant. Oh my God, he is so hot. And then they make him appear in the second last episode as his Justified character, and he just hangs out with them for like 10 minutes while they're talking about stuff, and then he leaves.
That's cool.
I was like, this is awesome, because I haven't watched the show since it, was off the air like 3 or 4 years ago. Right. And just to see him in character again, I was like, oh my God, I love that shit.
Yeah. I never really knew who he was until I watched Deadwood. And then when they canceled Deadwood is when they did Justified. And I love Deadwood. Have you seen Deadwood?
I haven't seen
it. Man. You got to watch Deadwood.
I do like Timothy. I like Ian McShane. So
yeah,
I like
Ian McShane's character is Al Swearingen in that show. Perfect.
I remember driving to Mount Rushmore many, many years ago when Deadwood was like on the air. Yeah. And we drove through, I think, either where they filmed it or where the actual Deadwood was. Right. Back in the day.
Yeah, where the real Boot Hill is. Yeah.
Yeah, because there were signs saying, based on Deadwood. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't watch the show, but yeah. Well, that's on my list. All right, so I got
there you go
for my list.
Let's see what else. Is there any other series that I would recommend? I watched so much. You ever watch Weeds?
I did watch a couple episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was okay. I never have finished the season. I still got 3 more seasons to finish it. I never did watch it.
I can't do that anymore. When I see something is like a 45-minute show and there's 22 episodes in a season, I just walk away. It's like, nope, Not happening.
Oh yeah.
It's not a thing I do anymore. I can't do it.
I don't know. I've been watched the Venture Brothers, Archer, Rick and Morty,
the 22 minute
South
ones.
Park, yeah, all that stuff. I just crank those out. Of course, I get away with a lot of it because I can watch it at work. I just put the headphones in and put it up on my second screen. And I'll just watch like 22-minute episode while I'm typing business stuff.
I don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Yeah,
one day.
Can't toss pizzas and watch TV screens. But I'm lucky with that. But it's been so busy lately. I haven't had a lot of time to watch. I used to be able to watch like a feature-length movie during the day, and just can't get away with that anymore.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we should let the listeners be jealous of your life and feel sorry for my life. I mean, except for your whole washer and dryer and fridge,
Hey man, I'm gonna have brand new crap here in the next 2 weeks, so don't feel bad for me.
I'm jealous. I want the brand new crap.
I'll send you pictures of the TV. I'll be like Vanna White, like,
please do.
There you go.
And don't forget, pull off that panel in your fridge. Take a look for the
I'm gonna do that.
All right, man. Well, it looks like we're gonna be peacing out here.
All right, sounds good.
So it's been a good chat. Look forward to chatting with you next week.
Yeah, another chat, another time. Hope everybody's enjoying the show and just random things that we talk about.
Yeah. Peace out, listeners. See you next week.
Peace.